Yeah, done.
Okay. My name is Clive Cable, and you're watching this as a bonus for buying the 5 memory videos that show the first 50 memory pegs. It's important that you've gone through all 5 of those videos first, otherwise this is not going to make a lot of sense to you, because we're going to be using the memory pegs to memorize what I consider to be the world's best copywriting formula. So here it is, and the source is Luke Ihar, who I think is a brilliant copywriter in his own right. This is what they call the universal product story, aka the 191 words, 191 word sales letter. Right, and this is it. Hey, I have an exciting new solution for you. I'm going to tell you about that in a moment, including why it's different from anything you've tried before, how it works, and proof it works. Here's who I am, why you can trust me, and why I'm a good person to solve this problem. I know what it's like to be in your shoes, and it's not your fault. Instead, it's because you don't know the real reason behind the solution. Here's what that real problem is and how I discovered it. Here's proof of that. Since that's the reason, here's how to solve your problem. Here's proof of that. Now, there could be other ways, but here, the best way to solve this problem. Here's why it works and proof it worked for me, people I know, and others. Now you can get it right here. Here's a recap of how it works. Here's why it's a good deal, saves you time and money. Here's why you have to act now, and here's what happens if you don't, so get it now. And PS, here's a summary of everything we've covered. Now that might seem daunting to you, but this is a really good copywriting formula. If you've got this inside your head, you're going to be able to write good copy. So this is like a framework, if you like. So that pretty much as a story, an entire story of any new product. It gets attention, it keeps people interested, it explains why they should listen to you, why they've never heard this before, this is very important, why this time is different, and the reason why you do those 2 things is because it gives people new hope. Why it's unique, proof that it works. Without proof, people will doubt you. Why they should act now, so you've got to give them a reason, scarcity, why it's a good deal. You show them that it's well worth the money they're paying for it, and show them it's risk-free, and how to get started. So what we're going to do is we're going to break this up and have each section, we're going to memorize the memory pegs too. Okay, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, good. So we start this, hey, I have an exciting new solution for you. So here, what you do is the memory peg 1, which is T. So you imagine a solution falling in or dropping in from the sky into this T and smashing all the T all over the place. So that's an exciting new solution. Okay, so what we're doing is we're using association. The solution is the thing that's going to go in here. So we're changing the word solution into something that we can make a picture out of. Okay, so can you see that in your mind's eye?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll go to the next one. I'm going to tell you about that in a moment. Okay, so this is known as a open loop. I'm going to tell you about that in a moment. So there he is. He's about to tell you something, but he's holding himself up. He's holding 2 fingers up, just saying, halt. I'm going to tell you about that in a moment. Just wait, wait, wait. That's what you say. Okay. So you imagine that. Okay. I'll tell you about that in a moment. So you associate that with Noah. Wait a second. Okay. Then we're going to go into that one, including why it's different from anything else you've heard before. Okay. So that's harder to make a picture of something different. However, we could have, what could we do here? From May, so it's different. We could have this maypole fall over, which is different from you've ever seen the maypole memory peg before. It's different. It's falling over and the girls are dancing upside down. Okay, that's why it's different from anything else you heard before. So I'm going to go back and just going to recap the first 3. Okay, there's the exciting new solution for you. So you see the solution going into the T, and then I'm going to tell you about that in a moment. So he's hold on, I'll tell you about that in a moment. And then something different from you've ever tried before, and that's this maypole falling over and the girls dancing upside down. Okay, all you got to do is make the pictures in your mind. There's no, I'm doing all the work for you. You just make the pictures in your mind. Okay. The next one, and here's proof. Here's how it works and proof that it works. So you could have like a machine crashing through the window. Right. That shows how something's working. Right. And you see the proof because you can see it working as it crashes through the window. Okay, how it works and proof it works. Okay, the next one, here's who I am. Right, now this is a really good one because you could see yourself as a policewoman or a policeman, and that's here's who I am. You can see it in image, and here's who I am. So let's do one more, then we'll do a quick recap. And why you can trust me. Okay, so the word trust, what can we do in here? Why you can trust me? Because he's got his hand up, he's being honest. Okay, endure, trust me. Okay, I'm being honest with you, you can trust me. Okay, let's go back and recap the, I'm sorry, I'm going the wrong way. Let's go back and recap here, okay? So I have an exciting new solution for you. So just make that image from before. I'll tell you about it in a moment. That's Noah. That's the make that image from before, including why it's different from anything you've tried before. Imagine what happened there in the maypole scene. Here's how it works and proof it works. That's number 4. Here's who I am. Here's who I am. Number 5, and why you can trust me. Number 6. He's holding his hand up, showing trust. We go on to number 7. Why I'm a good person to solve this problem. So the key unlocks something. So it's solving a problem. Okay. So you see the key is solving a problem. Why I'm a good person. So you got you're turning the lock. You see your own hand turning this lock. Why I'm a good person to solve this problem. Okay. The next one, I know what it's like to be in your shoes. So you could see this is a bag full of shoes. Okay. So I know what it's like to be in your shoes. Okay. And it's not your fault. So you can imagine that this ship going down to the bay crashes, but it's because nobody was in it. So it's not your fault. Okay. So we'll do another recap. Let's go and start from the beginning again. Right. So I have an exciting new solution for you, just the image you saw before. And I'll tell you about that in a moment. There's Noah holding everything, and why it's different from anything you've tried before, the maypole falling over. Here's proof that it works. You've got machinery coming through there, and you can see that it's working. And here's who I am. So you'll see a picture of yourself. Why you can trust me. It's holding his hand up, saying you can trust me. Why I'm a good person to solve this problem. You're turning the key in the lock, and the lock is, as it's unlocked, is solving the problem. I know what it's like to be in your shoes. This is a bag of shoes. And it's not your fault. The ship crashes, and it's not your fault because there's nobody in it. Okay, so then we're on to the next one. Instead, it's because you don't know the real reason behind the solution. Okay, so there's the toes. Okay, now behind the toes is another solution, and it's water everywhere, right, which is water is a solution. So that's behind the toes because you don't know the real reason behind the solution. Okay, got that? You can see that image clearly enough.
Yeah, trying to see that.
Okay, good. Here's what the real problem is and how I discovered it. So this is top, and he's trying to grab up, look at the top, and he pulls himself up to the top, and he finds that's the real problem, and I've just discovered it. Okay, so here's what the real problem is and how I discovered it. Okay, and we're going to do the next one, and here's proof of that. So the proof of the pudding is in the tin. All right, so that's how we're going to do that. So let's go back and we'll recap. It's a good idea to recap oh, I'm going the wrong way again. Right, let's go right the way back. So to here, I have an exciting new solution for you. It's number 1. Number 2, I'm going to tell you about that in a moment. Number 3, including why it's different from anything you've tried before. Number 4, here's how it works and proof that it works. Here's who I am, why you can trust me, why I'm a good person to solve this problem. I know what it's like to be in your shoes, and it's not your fault. Instead, you don't know the real reason behind the solution. Of course, the solution is behind the toes. Okay. Number 11, and here's what the real problem is and how I discovered it. And he's reaching up on top of this counter. He's made a discovery, and here's proof of that. The proof of the pudding is in the tin. Okay. So we're going to go on to the next one, which is TAM. So since that's the real reason, here's how to solve your problem. So it's like putting a thinking cap on. So you're putting this tam, which is a Scottish hat, you're putting it on your head, and since that's the real reason, here's how to solve your problem. So you've got a thinking cap type thing that's showing you how to solve the problem. Okay, can you picture that? Okay.
Yeah, got it.
Right, now there could be other ways, right? So that's why you got tar and you've got different ways or the different roads. Okay, and here's proof of that. Well, you can see the proof because you're looking at that image. and here's proof of that.
Mm-hmm.
Could be other ways, and here's proof of that. Okay. Now, here's the best way to solve this problem. Okay. So squirrels know the very best ways to find nuts. Okay. That's what the image is showing you. It knows the best way, and here's the best way to solve the problem. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to do one more, then we'll recap. Here's why it works and proof that it worked for me and people I know and others. So you see the tissue, and as the tissue gets pulled out, you see a picture of you and people that you know,
Mm-hmm.
your friends and other people that you know. So as the tissues come out, there's all these people on it. Okay. Here's why it works and proof it works for me and people I know and others. Okay. So now we're going to recap back to number 1. I have an exciting new solution for you. So just see the image of the solution in that picture of T. I'm going to talk about that in a moment. It was Noah, including why it's different from anything you've tried before, which is May. And here's how it works and proof it works. That's Ray. Here's who I am. That's Law. Why you can trust me. That's Jaw. Why I'm a good person to solve this problem. That is the turning of the key. I know what it's like to be in your shoes. Bag of shoes. Number 8, Fee. I know it's not your fault, and it's not your fault. And this is Bay. The ship crashes, as you know. Instead, it's because you don't know the real reason behind the solution. That's Toes. Here's what the real problem is and how I discovered it. Here's proof of that. That's the tin. And then, since that's the reason, here's how to solve your problem. That's the thinking cap going on. And there could be other ways. And here's proof of that. That's tar. And here's the best way to solve the problem. Of course, the squirrel knows the best way to find nuts. Okay, so we're going to carry on. There's not many to go now. So just stay with me. So here's why we didn't do this one. Yeah, here's why it works and proof that it worked for me. So you've got the tissue and all the people on coming out from the tissue. Okay. Now let's have a recap of how it all works. Okay. So tack. So you're putting all these nails in to put the whole thing up on a wall, which is the recap of how it all works. You imagine this formula. You're nailing this to the wall, so you've got it there in front of you, so you can see it all the time. Okay. And here's why it's a good deal and saves you time and money. So a toffee, so one toffee equals time, the other one equals money. Okay. Can you make a picture of that? Time and money as toffee. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Here's why you have to act now. So this is like a top, it's spinning top, and you've got to act now. You've got to do it now. So it's pointed. So it means they're bringing that point down to the very now. So it starts off with a wide point, coming down to a narrow point, which means now. You have to do it now. Okay. And here's what happens if you don't. So in other words, you could end up looking like this woman who's not very attractive. Okay, this is what happens if you don't. Okay, let's do a quick recap of all of that we've done so far. We're almost there. So here, hey, I have an exciting new solution for you. T. I'm going to tell you about that in a moment. Noah, including why it's different from anything you've tried before. May. How it works and proof that it works. Ray. Here's who I am. Law. Why you can trust me. Jaw. And why I'm a good person to solve this problem. Key. I know what it's like to be in your shoes, which is Fee. And it's not your fault. That's Bay. Instead, it's because you don't know the real reason behind the solution. That's Toes. And Tot is here's what the real problem is and how I discovered it. So he's reaching up and just making the discovery because he found the real problem. Here's proof of that. Proof of the pudding's in the tin. Since that's the reason, here's how to solve your problem. The TAM going on your head. There could be other ways. Here's proof of that. So there's the road going in different ways. And the proof is you can see the word tar. And here's the best way to solve the problem. As you know, squirrels can solve the problem of finding nuts. Here's why it works and proof that it works for me and people I know. So you've got the tissue being pulled out of the box, all these images of people, yourself and other people that you know. A recap of why it works. So you're nailing this onto the wall, you're recapping the whole thing. So you've got this image of the whole formula being tacked to your wall. Here's why it's a good deal. Saves you time and money. The toffees, one's time and one's money. Here's why you have to act now. The point at the bottom means you're acting now. Here's what happens if you don't. You end up looking like this, this woman. And now, so get it now. So this is tying the knot. Okay, when you tie the knot and you're being married, you do something now in the moment. Okay, so get it now. Can you see that?
Mm-hmm.
And then a summary of everything we've covered, which is the none. Okay, that I believe is the end. So just do the memory peck on that one. Here's a summary of everything we've covered. So one, none is telling the other person, the other none, of everything we've just covered. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that is the last one. Okay, so let's go back and to number one. Okay, now you're going to open your eyes and you're going to look at the screen as I go through. And I'm not going to say anything to you. I'm just going to go through a few seconds on each one. You just make the pictures in your mind with your eyes open. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. 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 Next. Okay. Got it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Got it. Next. Mm-hmm. Got it. Got it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Got it.
Perfect. Okay, so we're going to go right back to the very beginning. Okay, so if you close your eyes, what I want you to do now is I want you to go through this formula and speak out loud, slowly, clearly, as much as you can remember.
Okay. So first is I have to okay, got it. I have a very exciting solution for you.
Yeah.
Hold a minute. I will tell you about everything.
Yeah.
It is very different from the previously what you have learned.
Yeah.
And here's the proof of why it's work.
Yeah.
And it's me, and this is why I will tell you about. And trust me,
Open
you
your
can
eyes.
trust me.
Yeah, open your eyes for a second. That's number 5. Just adjusting that. Okay, here's who I am. Close your eyes again.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you said, here's why you can trust me. You got that. Perfect.
Yeah.
Next one.
I able to capability to provide the solution of your problem, to unlock your
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah.
I know how to be in your shoes,
Yeah.
and it's not your fault of what happened,
Yeah.
because you don't know the what, you don't get the, you don't know the solution behind all this issue. You don't know
Okay.
the reason.
Open your eyes
behind
again, just to remind you of this.
Yeah, because you know the real reason behind the solution.
Real reason. Okay, so it's the real reason. Okay. You're doing great, by the way. You're doing perfect. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Close your eyes again.
And I will tell you about how I discovered that.
Yeah.
And here's the proof.
Yeah, perfect.
And
It's the thinking cap.
yeah. Thank you.
Open your eyes.
I will.
Open your eyes.
So okay. So how you solve your problem? Since that's the reason. Yeah, that's the way how you can solve your problem.
Yeah. Carry on.
There are different kind of ways that you can do this.
Yeah.
I will show you the perfect way to find out the solution.
Yeah.
16.
Tissue. Pulling
I
out.
know a lot of people who are
All right.
able to
Open
with
your eyes
this.
again. Right.
Here's a why Here's here why it works and proof it worked for me. People I know are this.
Okay, close your eyes.
Hmm. Okay.
Next, attack.
Yeah, and here's the recap and make sure to everything, remember everything. Just go
Yep,
through.
yep,
Mhm. And it can help you save time and money.
perfect.
And you have to do it now. There's no delay, should be.
Yeah, very good.
Otherwise, this is the kind of this is the kind of something that well you have to do. I mean, this
Okay,
is the
open your eyes.
consequences.
Open your eyes.
Yeah, yeah. I know the pack. I just remember. Forget him.
We just
This is
did
the
it as a fun thing.
consequences.
Oh, we did it as a fun thing. Okay, close your eyes again.
Yeah. So make sure to take the decision now and get it now. Not
Yeah,
and
perfect.
after that, here's the recap of what everything I have learned.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, so that's very, very good. So if you get stuck in any of this, if you're anybody's watching this, if you get stuck, just open your eyes as you go through that, and you can pause the video at any time. Okay, and it might be a good idea to pause the video, say it, pause the video, say it. Now, I think what would be a really good idea if you wanted to finesse this is to write these down out of order, out of sequence. Maybe go backwards, or maybe start from 15 and go back to 1, then 15 and then 22 and go back to 15. Okay. The idea is that with the memory pegs, you can remember these in any order, although you do want to know this in the order. However, that said, you remember that Eugene Schwartz said that copy is not written, it's assembled. Okay, which means if I zoom back, right back where we started, that if you wanted to, you could start anywhere in this, anywhere, right? Here's what the real problem is. You could start there, or here's proof of that, right? But here's the best way to solve that problem. You could start anywhere, okay? This is what he did. This is what I do, okay? Here's what happens if you don't, so get it now, okay? So you could have, so it doesn't matter where you start in this formula, okay? Because you put it all together at the end and it looks like it's all been written in one go, okay? So you might be thinking, okay, right here, well, I want to tell you why you can trust me. Here's who I am and why you can trust me. So you might want to start there with your backstory and how you solve the particular problem. You know, why I'm a good person to solve the problem. Okay. You might then want to jump to here's what the real problem is and how I discovered it. Okay. You might then want to jump to why it's not their fault. Well, because no one's told you before. It's been hidden from you. Okay. So it doesn't matter. You can jump around here and you can start writing at any point. And then at the end, you've got all these elements that you're going to put together, and you put it together so that it all flows. And then you have this. It grabs attention, keeps them interested, explains why they should listen to you, why they've never heard this before, why this time will be different, why it's unique, proof that it worked, why they should act now, why it's a good deal, why it's risk-free, and how to get started. Okay, so you now have that formula embedded. The very best way to make sure that you know this formula is to write it out, like I said, one more time in any order, any sequence, like I showed you, then write it, leave it for about an hour and come back and write it out from 22 back to 1. Then leave it about an hour or just before you go to bed, and then quickly write 1 from 22. Then leave it. That formula now is yours. You've got it. It's embedded in your mind. So if you ever got to write any copy for anybody based on a new product, you've got that formula. Okay, it's yours forever. And this is a very valuable thing to know, because you'll know if you covered everything that's in that formula, what you're selling will convert. Okay, remember this guy Luke Ihar. I admire him, and he works with three other copywriters, I believe, or maybe 2. Anyway, he's very good at what he does, and he put this based on the 16-word sales letter he saw, and he thought this was a better version of it. So in other words, this is a proven formula. Okay, so now that you've done that, yes, now you've done that, I'm going to show you something else that I've prepared for you, and that is how to remember headlines.
Okay,
And
should
we're
I
going to
stop
use
recording?
nope,
Okay.
carry on. This is going to be an extra bonus they weren't expecting and you weren't expecting. right? This is the headline formula, okay?
Mm-hmm.
This comes from Stefan Georgi. I think what he was Luke Ihar's mentor, one of the best copywriters around today. And he uses AI a lot, and he does it with great effect. So here's the headline elements checklist. You don't have to have them all, but you really want to have it, 2 or 3 of these. So it's curiosity, call out the pain point, promise the solution, specificity, simplicity, credibility, address skepticism, and time frame to achieve promise of results. So one of the ones there is give me 20 minutes and I'll give you a superb memory. Okay, right. So you could anything of these specificity. So that's 10 minutes or 20 minutes. Okay, promise the solution. Okay, I'll give you a better memory. Okay, call out the pain point. Are you forgetful? Here's the solution. Curiosity. Here's what the #1 copywriter that's ever lived, Eugene Schwartz. Here's what he did to make sure his copy was the best. So that's curiosity. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to use this. Okay, we're going to use parts of your body. Okay, so #1 is going to be your head. All right. #2 is going to be, it could be your left arm, right arm, doesn't matter. But just go 2 is your left arm, 3 is your right arm, 4 is your torso, 5 is your left leg, 6 is your right leg, and 7 is your feet. Okay. So we're now going to attach that headline checklist to those parts of your body. All right. So the first one is curiosity. You could put a big question mark on top of your head. Right.
Okay.
Curiosity. The second one is call out the pain point. So you imagine that the arm is all red because it's in a lot of pain. Okay. Then you could have the other arm promise the solution. So you could see him holding a bottle of, see yourself holding a bottle of water, which is the solution. And #4 is specificity. So you could see a percentage on your dress, your top. You know what the percentage looks like, the symbol for percentage. So that's showing specificity. So you have 1%. So you have the 2 circles left and right, and you've got in between. So that's percentage. We'll go through this again in a minute. 5 is simplicity. So you could have something with just one simple pattern on that left leg. Okay, that's simplicity. So it could just have one color, shows simplicity. On the right leg, credibility, address skepticism. So you could have the pattern there would be loads and loads of books. That's as a pattern. That's credibility. Okay, and that credibility at the same time addresses skepticism. And then time frame, which is your feet. Time frame to achieve results of promise. So you could see in between your feet there is a big clock. Okay, that's the time frame to achieve the results of the promise. Now let's go back through them once again. Go back here. So curiosity, that's a question mark above your head. You can go open your eyes here and you can see formula now. Call out the pain point. Your arm is sore, red. Okay, promise the solution. So you're holding a bottle of water with your other arm. Specificity is a percentage thing on your torso. Simplicity is a simple pattern on your left leg. Credibility is a pattern of books, load of books up on the right leg. And the time frame to achieve results of the promise is a clock. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to go here. Okay. And let's see how many of these you can remember. So I don't care which order you do them in.
Okay. First is curiosity. Second, call out the pain point.
Make
Third
it
clear.
Make it clear.
Okay. So the first one is the curiosity.
Yeah.
The second one is the call out the pain point, whatever the pain point audience might be facing.
Yeah.
Third one is providing the solution.
Yeah.
Fourth one is providing the specificity, whatever the percentage, whatever the data we have.
Yeah.
And fifth one is simplicity.
Yeah.
So we have to use a language in a simple way so that audience can understand. No rocket science.
Yeah.
Sixth one is proof and social proof and proof that can resolve the audience skepticism. So
yeah.
And
Good.
the seventh one is the time duration that are able to solve the problem, that you need to solve the problem.
And there you have it. Perfect. Okay, you got all that. So now you've got a headline formula, okay, with in a combination with a copywriting formula, okay. So now that puts you in the top 10% of copywriters in the world, because you now know these two different formulas, or checklists and the formula, okay, and you've got them. Now, once again, you have to write these out 3 times a day, spaced out, okay, and the last one you do just before bed, okay. The last thing you do before you go to bed, your mind goes to work on. And what's happening is overnight, this information is going from your left brain to your right brain, and you'll have it as a kind of a dream. It's all scrambled up, but your right brain then puts it back into the right order for your left brain for when you wake up in the morning, okay. Now, it would be a good idea if you just, when you woke up tomorrow morning, at some point in the morning, in the first hour at least, is to say these out loud to yourself without looking at this information. Right? You can start with the headline if you want, or you can start with the copywriting formula. It doesn't matter. Okay. And if you do get stuck, you shouldn't. It's very unusual if anybody gets stuck with this. But if you do get stuck, you can also go back and look at. There'll be. We'll see if we can do handouts. I'm not sure if you can do that on this system. We'll figure out how to do handouts with this. Okay, but you don't need them. You should have all this in your memory now. Okay. So that is it for now, and go away and use this, and use it with a lot of power, and make yourself more money with it, and attract more clients. The other thing I was going to say before we go, is that when you are talking to clients, you could say, look, headlines work like this. We do this with your headline. We use curiosity, specificity, and simplicity. Right? That may need if you're trying to get a client to take you on board, you can say, well, actually, the first thing you've got to do with this kind of product is address the skepticism, and then show the time frames of achieving the results of the promise. You don't have to write the headline for them there and then, but you show you know what you're talking about. Okay. Or you can go back and talk about any part of the copywriting formula. This gives you credibility in the eyes of somebody who's thinking of hiring you over somebody who doesn't know any of this stuff. If you can pull this out of the top of your head, right, from nowhere, and you think, wow, you know what you're talking about. You really do know your stuff, okay? Because you do now. Okay, it's not difficult to fill in the blanks, to find headlines. You don't have to have all 7 points of this headline. If you pick 3, it should be good enough for a headline. And when you look at other headlines, look at them with this in mind. If you're looking at winning headlines, okay, look at with this in mind. So, well, where are they using any of these 7 points? Are they using more than one of these 7 points? And that will reinforce what you know and help you write better copy.
Got it.
So that's goodbye from me, and goodbye from
Aprajita.
Okay, so say that real slow so people know who you are.
Okay, so bye for now. Aprajita this side.
Okay. Good. All right. So we'll see you on the next video.
Sure. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.